Hey guys, today's video is to add on to integrated assignment 2. Remember, for integrated assignment 2, I'm having you guys create a Word document with graphs and answering some questions, and as well as a YouTube video. Remember, in critical issues, you're creating a YouTube video, so this will be a collaboration of the graphs that you created in QR and reading the speech in critical issues, right? So make sure you guys are watching that video that I posted on integrated assignment 2, and also the video that Professor Feinseri posted on explaining how both the QR and CI components are part of that YouTube video and that speech. Now this video will be mostly about creating these types of graphs. So the first one is a line graph. The line graph, again, is the same one as the one you used in task 1, so you're not going to be making any change. If you didn't do task 1 in integrated assignment 1, make sure you watch that video on integrated assignment 1, and also that video I created on creating tables, charts, and graphs, right? This shows you very detailed wise how to create this type of line graph. Second one is creating a bar chart representing the population in each borough. Um, Out of that, what percent of the residents are foreign born? So based on that, what percent of residents are foreign born, you'll create a bar chart. So here was the original data, right? Remember, you're given each of the columns shows total and then the 5 boroughs, and then the column on the left shows you the different countries of origin or the regions of origin. But for this first one, we're talking about only looking at this top two right here, right? We're only talking about the population and foreign born. So what I did is I created something, not created, I dug up a similar data set. So right here is another data set that's very similar. Let me zoom out a little bit, right? As you can see, the format's almost the same, right? Here, instead of foreign born, it's telling you the gender. First it tells you the gender in each population, how many males there are in the 5 boroughs, how many females there are, and then it breaks it down by age, right? So instead of, for example, this one breaks it up by countries and regions, it breaks this one right here, this data set's breaking it up by the age. So how many people are under 5 years old, how many are between 5 and 9, 10 and 14, so on, so on, for each borough. So we're going to be using this data set to make those graphs, but the idea is exactly the same if you would translate it to our integrated assignment 2. Now I will post this on Blackboard under content week 10 along with this video, so you could follow along with me when creating the graphs, and once you get a hang of it, move on to the integrated assignment 2. The idea is exactly the same. So the first one, bar chart representing the population of each borough. Out of the population, what percent are foreign born? Now in the data set that we have right now, we don't have foreign born, but we could pretend we're asking out of the entire population, what percentage are male, right? So let's look at male. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a separate little table right here, and then we're going to calculate out of the total population in Bronx, what percentage was male, right? I'm giving you the number of males, and I'm giving you the total population for each one of them, so you should be able to calculate it, right? So here, again, it would be the number of male divided by the total population. So it gives you that percentage, right? We'll convert that to percentage. Over here, there's a percent sign, a little cut off, but you guys should be able to see it. I'm going to make this a couple of decimals long, probably, right? And now for Brooklyn, same thing, number of males in Brooklyn divided by the total population in Brooklyn, right? Again, make this percentage, and I'll have some decimal places. See, they're going to be around the same, 47. That's why I'm including a couple of decimal points. When you calculate for all of them, you should get something similar to this, right? Around 47, 48%. Now we're going to create a bar chart from this. So what you would do is you highlight, insert. This is your bar chart, right? Here it created your bar chart, right? So you see that In Queens, Queens has the highest percentage of males to females ratio, right? Brooklyn has the least, right? Again, this is incomplete, so you would label your axis. This is your borough. This is your percent. Male, right? And your title would be, for this one, would be something like male, percentage of male population. Percentage of male population in 5 boroughs, right? Now, very similarly, you could make something like this for our integrated assignment 2. Instead, you're going to be looking at, instead of male, you're going to be looking at foreign population. So again, create another table. You're going to find the percentage of foreign population for each borough, and you would get a bar graph like this, right? And again, remember, I don't want an Excel sheet from you guys, so just copy and paste this, right? So you just click in a white area, right click, copy, right? You'll copy and paste this into that Word document, right? That you're gonna be creating for me, right? So right here, just paste it, right? So I right clicked, I did Control V, but you could just right click, paste, and paste that, right? Because remember, you're gonna have to talk about it, and then you're gonna have to include 2 out of the 4 into the speech. So that's how you would include it. Next one, create a pie chart representing the number of foreign-born residents in each borough. Now let's go back. I don't really need this. I'll delete this. Delete this area right here. Right, I could drag this over. It'll clear it. Right. So I said calculate the percentage of, where did it go? Percentage of no, pie chart representing the number of foreign-born residents in each borough. Right. So here, pie chart, you want the foreign-born population. So again, you're gonna be looking at this row. So here we're gonna stick with male again. So let's just look at this data set. Copy. I'm gonna paste it right here. That way it's easier to work with. Copy, paste it over here, right? Again, we're looking at only the boroughs, so I don't really care about the total. So I'm gonna highlight, delete that. I only want this. Now to create a pie chart, what you would do is highlight this area, including this white space, right? Including this white space over here. Insert pie chart. This one, and I like this one right here because it tells you a good bit of details, right? So basically, this is telling you that out of all the males in New York City, 28% of them are in Queens, 19% of them are in Manhattan, 30% of them are in Brooklyn. That's what it's saying, right? So this would be distribution of males in New York City, right? So for the integrated assignment, you would have something similar, but it would say distribution of foreign-borns in New York City. It'll tell you, oh, this percent of foreign-borns live in Queens, this percent of foreign-borns live in Brooklyn, so on and so forth, right? Use this chart right here that tells you the percentage. Is really good. So that would be your pie chart. Lastly, you're going to be creating a multi-bar graph showing the number of foreign-born individuals in each borough, with each bar representing a different region, being the 7 regions, Europe through Oceania, right? So now let's look at, let me delete this. We don't need this right now because we're going to be doing a new example. Again, remember, you should be copying and pasting the charts into the Word document to submit to me, which will also answer the questions. But here we have the boroughs and we have the 7 regions. I highlighted them in gray for you, right? Europe, Asia, Africa, and so on. So in this case, we're not going to be looking at the 7 regions, but we're going to be looking at 7 age groups, right? So let's copy and paste them. So remember, if you want to highlight more than one, highlight this, hold Control or Command if you're using a Mac, right? Highlighting the grays, scroll down, right? When you're scrolling down, let go of Control and then hold Control or Command if you're on Mac. right? I'm going to copy this all, right click copy, and I'm going to paste it right here, right? So those are our age groups. Again, you would do the same thing, but instead of the different ages, you would have the different regions. Now I want to line this up with what these numbers are representing. This is for the total, this is for Bronx, how many are in Bronx, how many are in Brooklyn, and so on, right? And it's asking us for multi-bar graph showing the number in each borough, right? So we don't really care about the total. So let's delete this column, right? If I click on the J or click on that column, it highlights everything, right click, delete. If you're having trouble selecting all of them and copying pasting it, do it one by one. It might take a little bit longer, but it'll get the job done, right? So highlight one, copy, paste it. Highlight the second one, copy, paste it, right? Now to create the multi-bar graph, all you would have to do is highlight this table right here, insert, bar graph, this first one right here. There you have your multi-bar graph. So let me zoom in a little bit to this one. So essentially, what is this showing us? Whoa, that looks crazy. Okay, there's a little bit better, right? Again, let's add some titles. Right, so this is your age range, but remember, for your integrated assignment, this will be your major regions, right? This would be number of residents, right? But for the integrated assignment, this would be number of foreign born. And title, distribution of age range of residents in New York City, right? So you would have something similar. So you would have distribution of foreign-born regions in New York City, right? So this is showing us that majority of the younger population, you see, under 5, 15 through 19, 30 through 34, and even 40 to 49 is around live in Brooklyn. But as you get to the older generation, right, um, right here, starting from 40 to 49, and then 60, 64, 70, 74, 85, right, it starts showing that more of it are living in Queens, right? So what you should have for the integrated assignment, right? When you create this multi-bar graph, it should look very similar with the color scheme and everything, but on the bottom it should say the 7 regions, right? Instead of 7 age ranges, you should have a legend, right? So the legend either could be in the bottom or it could be on the side right here, right? Doesn't really matter. If you want to expand this, you could expand it a little bit, right? So it's going to show you something like, oh, majority of Europeans live in this borough, right? And depending on the color, right? Majority of Asians live in another borough or something like that, right? So you should be able to make those kind of conclusions after making this multi-bar graph. So that's how you create the graphs for this. I hope it helps a lot, right? Remember, what you're going to be doing is part 1, you're going to be expected to create all of these charts, right? If you haven't created the first one from from integrated assignment 1, do that, right? You're going to describe each one of them in detail. What are you seeing? What are the trends? And how is what you learned from integrated assignment 1 helped you understand distribution, right? There should be 2 paragraphs long, 5 to 8 sentences per paragraph, right? And include your graphs in the Word document. Again, you're not all those graphs that you're creating, right? You're not giving me the Excel sheet. All you're going to do is copy, right, and paste them into a Word document. Into a new Word document, you're going to paste all 4 of them, and then you're going to write the 2 paragraphs. Next one, part 2, is you're going to choose 2 of those, right? Out of those 4, you're going to choose 2 of them and incorporate them in the speech, right? You will use the graphs to strengthen your claims and policy, right? Remember, the first part is an oral history, and then you're declaring you're running for either mayor, governor, or president, right, or senator, and you want to talk about immigration. So you want to use 2 of those 4 graphs to help you make a stronger argument, right? And then furthermore, when you're going to be reading that speech and showing that speech in the YouTube video. So that's what's expected. All right, guys. So make sure you follow along. I'm going to post this on Blackboard, and along with this new data set, I'm going to post this on Blackboard so you can follow along. So let me just delete it. That way you have a clean slate. And if you have any questions, make sure to email me. All right, guys, take care.